Wow, wow, wow. Finally, it's the day. All right. This interesting. Ebubechi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening. Ebubechi here. I
Yes,
wouldn't love to
please.
actually do much of an introduction since I know you're here, and I'll give the honor of trying to and almost everything
Okay,
that
I
we can
actually
do.
think I'm struggling to hear you a bit clearly.
Okay. So just 3 minutes. How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay, great, great, great. So
How
welcome,
about from
welcome,
my end?
welcome.
Is it clear?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. It is clear for
Okay.
me. I can actually hear you loud and clear. All right. Welcome, 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 guys. This is actually fun. I mean, this is my first time being on YouTube live, and a lot of things seems like magic to me. I mean, it took me a very long time to actually figure out how I'll go about this whole thing. And well, here we are.
Yeah.
Catch the content, catch the content, catch the content. Interested. We've actually wanted doing this for a very long time. Like this conference. In fact, at the point of time we had to actually postpone because it was supposed to help. We're supposed to actually do the catch the conference last month. I think from 26, yeah, 21st to 26, I think. But so it was postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. But here we are. So Ebubechi is one of our guest speaker, and she's here to actually treat an interesting topic, which I believe either as a content creator, as a young child that is trying to find its way, into the online space, find something to do, because literally content is everywhere, and everything we do on the internet space is actually literally content. So Ebubechi here is here to tell us, or here to teach us, rather, how we can actually, use content to print cash. I should just say it that way. Use content to print cash because the team is content to cash, and anything any speaker coming here will come to discuss would be related to how you can actually use content to create a ton of cash in the internet space. Ebubechi,
Yes,
I over
please.
to you.
All
Just
right.
quickly,
Sure.
a quick introduction about yourself, about the topic and what you have for us today.
I didn't get that, please.
I said a bit introduction about yourself and tell
Okay.
us about what you have for us today in content to cash, the topic and how you can actually make money from what you have for us today.
All right. So, good evening, everyone. I want to believe you all can hear me loud and clear. So I wish to welcome you all to this first day of the Coven Brand Show from content to cash. In a very special way, I want to say a very big thank you to the organizer and the team lead of for this show in the person of Mr. Adam Maruf, popularly known as AJ. Thank you so much for this opportunity, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. So, to everyone who is listening and watching, I am Ebubechi Iwo and I am a content creator. So, what I simply do is that I help individuals and brands create stunning content that build visibility for them and convert to sale. So, I have been asked to speak tonight on a topic that says how to build influence and relevance through writing. And that is what I'll be speaking about today.
I can
Okay.
hear you loud and clear, Rachel.
All right. So I would just proceed. Okay, so the very first day I was approached and invited to actually come speak, and I accepted. I sat back and I began to make my researches. And while I was making my research on how best to approach this topic, my heart gave a very loud pounding. Like that pounding was just like bam, bam. Because deep within me, I was like, how can someone who does not have a large follower of people be able to teach on a topic like this, how to build influence and relevance through writing? And at that point in time, my mindset was limiting because I had just limited the definition of influence to just be the number of followers one had. And I know that this is the same for many of us. Many of us just think that when we talk about influence, influence per se is just about number of people following somebody. And so when maybe we have somebody who comes on board and the person appears to paint himself or herself as an influential person, the very next thing we just want to do is to search the person up on either Google, on the person's social media handle. And the next thing we are doing, I beg get out. You know, even get up to 1K follower. I beg get out. So be this, which kind of influence in they talk about. So that is always the case for most of us. Now, this is actually not wrong. This is not actually wrong. Because when we talk about influence, especially on the social media, it's actually a game of numbers. We are looking at everybody on social media is striving to see how well they can build their followers or increase their followers by numbers. So this is not actually wrong. However, I just want to state that this should not be a defining factor for what influence or relevance should actually constitute. Now, I want to point out that influence and relevance can be measured through many factors, including perceived value. Perceived value actually tops the chart. It can be measured through wealth. It can be measured through followers, of course, for social media. It can be measured through engagement. It can be measured through results, through wealth, or even market positioning. Now, regardless of whatsoever stands or whatever approach or factor that we may choose to look at influence from, we can actually take out the fact that when we talk about influence, influence is simply has to do with the ability of causing a change or causing an effect on something or somebody. Implication: if you want to build influence on something or for a people or upon a people, you have to give out something and you'll be getting something in return. Now, this is something many people do not know. Many people do not understand that actually that influence, as we are often perceive it, is actually a two-way factor because you are giving out something. The thing which you are giving out is that which will cause a change or cause an effect on the people you are trying to influence. And then you are gaining something in return from them. That which you are gaining from them is relevance. And this is why oftentimes influence and relevance often go hands in glove. They often go together. However, influence would not come to you unless you constantly build it. You cannot say, I want to build influence, I want to gain relevance, I want people to begin to see me as a person of value, and then you are just folding your arms and you are not doing anything about it. This cannot be. If you are just folding your arms without doing nothing, influence wouldn't come to you. So if you want influence, if you want relevance, especially as a content creator, you must constantly and consciously build it. Now, I know the big question many of us would have is that how do I build influence? Because if we look at human beings are very egoistic. Our nature is selfish. So everyone just wants to create that opportunity where we can exercise that authority over people. We can exercise this level of influence, this air of authority and influence over people so that people can actually see us that, oh, this is the person who is in charge. He or she is in charge. Now, the truth is that there are several ways to build influence and relevance. However, because of the topic that's been given to me tonight, I'll be simply taking us on one of the most effective way to build influence and relevance, which is through writing. Now, many of us might be like, oh, how is it that writing is one of the most effective way to build influence? Now, the truth is that our words have power, and as long as our words are written or documented, your influence or your relevance or your impact lasts for a long time. You might be able to speak, you can speak so well, but the truth is that those spoken words will actually fade. And if you are in doubt, just think about it. Why is it that we even have books by authors who have died over a long period of time, but yet till today we still read their book, and the impacts or the influence they have been able to build through those books are still lasting? This is to tell us how very powerful written words can be. More so, research has shown that the internet, everything that is used on the internet, 80% of what is used on the internet is largely carried out through writing. So there is literally nothing that you can do without writing or without written content. Since this is a content show, I will be switching between the different forms of content. So for clarity's sake, the forms of content we have are written content, visual content, audio content, and then video content. So you might actually come up to say, oh, I am a video content creator and I don't need written content, so I don't need written words. But the truth is, Oga, you need that written words to actually explain or give meaning, explain concept that you'll be using in your video. Or if you said, okay, fine, I'm not using concepts or I'm just speaking, you actually need written words to create caption for your post. Okay, for visual content with reference to graphics design, pictures cannot just exist. Pictures would not talk. They need written words to give meaning to what has been visualized. And then for audio content, in terms of podcast, recordings and sounds, whatever thing you have, you actually have to write down some of these points you'll be saying, even as little as a message draft, a mind outline, or just a rough outline. It actually takes written words to achieve this. Now, this would tell us how powerful written words can be, or how effective written words can be in building influence. Okay, if we are to approach it from another angle, let's take a look at some of the favorite influencers that we have on the online space. Mention any of them, that the Fortune Namdi, who is my mentor, the convener of this show, Adam Maruf, Taz Igor, John Obidi, Edirin Edewo, Enosam, Okoye Dicta, any influencer at all in your niche. Have you ever wondered what is the first thing that actually draws me to this person? Or what is the first thing that sells this person? Or if immediately you make a search about this person, what is the first thing you stumble upon? You will observe that the first thing you stumble upon is, of course, a written word. So written contents are actually the first thing that sells the influence or sells the relevance about this person. So this is very, very important. So now when we talk about building influence and relevance through writing, now this is not just for content writers alone. So far you are on the internet space, so far you are on the social media, you must learn how to actually achieve this, since 80% of what is carried out on social media and 80% of things that are carried out on the internet is largely achieved through writing. So quickly, how exactly do you build influence and relevance through writing? Imagine if you've got only a few seconds to capture your audience attention. How do you hold them spellbound with your writing? Because there are a whole lot of content on the online space, and research also tells us that the human attention span is less than 3 minutes. So if in less than 2 minutes or a minute you cannot capture the attention of your audience in your writing or in your content, you've actually lost them. You've lost them. So how do you capture the attention of your audience and hold them spellbound using your words? And how can you effectively build influence and relevance through writing? So the very first thing you want to do is to know your niche and know your audience. Now, when we talk about building influence and relevance, influence and relevance is about playing the long game. You cannot say you want to build influence just for a short term. It's not possible. So when we are talking influence and relevance, it's about you playing the long term game. So you want to build relevance. Who do you want to build relevance for? Or who do you want to build relevance among? In what niche exactly, per se? Who are the people? Who exactly are you seeking to exercise this level of influence or relevance over? You cannot say I want to build relevance or I want to build influence, and then you do not even know the people you are building relevance upon, or you cannot identify your audience of which you will exercise your influence upon. Now, the amazing thing is that if you do not even know your niche, you cannot even know your audience. Only you are a content writer, you are a relationship expert, a video art creator, affiliate marketer, life coach, oga. Na only you waka come, wetin dey happen? Calm down and niche down. Because if you are able to niche down, you are able to have a defined audience. You are able to identify the people you are going to be building influence for. And that is why even the Bible will tell us that. Have we even thought about it? Let's look at it. The Bible will tell us that a prophet is not recognized among his own people. That was what Jesus exactly said. He said a prophet is not recognized among his own people. So, among the wrong people, you cannot build the right influence. So you might actually say, I want to build influence, but if you are not in the right person, among the right people, that influence is not going to be long lasting and is not going to be relevant. So, the very first thing you want to do is to identify your niche. Oh, what niche am I seeking to build influence in? Is it in writing? Even if you are talking about content writing, how well do you want to niche it down? Are you just doing technical writing? Are you just doing social media writing? Are you doing email writing? What exactly is it? Niche it down. Then, as soon as you niche that down, the next thing you want to do is to identify your audience. Identify your audience. And once you are able to identify your audience, you have to become your audience. You have to begin to think like them, study what they want, what interests them, and how they go about it. So you ask yourself, who are my audience? What are their beliefs and their values? Where are they located? What interests them? What are their personae? In terms of writing, we call it personnel, but for when it's in sales, they actually refer it to as customer avatar. So these are likely questions you have to ask yourself when you are trying to identify and know your audience. Now, when you have been able to identify and know your audience, you've been able to identify your niche. Your writings at every point in time should reflect the needs of your audience. This way, you are able to sell a perception that, okay, you are selling this perception that to them that you actually care about them and that you have them in mind. This way your influence rises. This way your influence rises because obviously everybody would tilt towards who actually care about them. They would tilt towards who have them in mind. So if you are being able to know your niche, identify your audience, and identify what exactly their persona and what exactly it is that resonates with them, you then have to tailor your writings to suit their needs. You have to tailor your writings to suit your need. And with this, I will state that your influence is proportional to your relevance or your perceived value among the audience in your niche. So it is not just enough to identify your niche. It is not just enough to identify your audience. Identify your niche, identify your audience, and let your writings reflect the needs of your audience. Now, moving further, the second way to build influence and relevance through writing is by giving value. I know many of us are used to this, and then many of us would have been wondering, oh, why didn't she place this as the very first point? The truth is that you cannot give you cannot give value to the wrong people. You get? So you must first be able to identify who am I sharing this value to before you actually consider giving value. Now, I said at the beginning of the session that if you are talking about building influence and building relevance, you must constantly build it. So you must create out a deliberate and an intentional effort. You must be deliberate. You must be intentional about providing value to this set of people, to this audience that you've actually crafted out, and you've come to understand. So you have to be deliberate about giving value. Your writings at all time, your content at all time should be geared towards providing your audience with relatable value. Emphasis is on relatable value. You have to create a value that resonates with them, provide value that resonates with them, because people naturally move towards people who care about them. I mentioned this before. So they naturally tilt towards someone who is providing them with value that is relatable to them, value that that attracts them. You get it? So people need to be certain that, oh, this particular creator is interested, or this particular writer, or this particular person is genuinely interested in my growth and my success. And the quickest way or the fastest way to actually show to your audience that you are interested in their success, you are interested in their growth is by sharing value. Never withhold value through your writings. Not to worry, share it as it comes to you. Not to worry, they wouldn't steal it. And even if they steal your idea, they would not be able to relate it more originally as you would have done. So be a person of value, give informative value, give your audience value that teaches them how to do something. What exactly is this? That answers questions in their needs. And then you could also share transformative value. You could also share transformative value. By transformative value, I mean values or teachings that talks about or documents your process, how you were able to move from point A, or how I grew from being say a zero figure writer to becoming a six-figure writer, or how I grew from procrastinating to delivering all my duties in time and 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 quickly. You get? So you have to offer either informative or transformative value. And now, why offering this value, you have to make it about your audience. You are not writing for yourself. The fact that you are even creating a content is actually a proof that it is not for you. Because why? It is not content until you publish it outside for a particular set of people to see, which are your target audience. So the influence or the relevance you will get or you will build is in direct proportion to the value you are capable of giving. So give value and make it about your audience. Moving further, moving further, another way to build influence and relevance through writing is by finding your core message and your objective and genuinely expressing this message. Now, even when we have this consciousness that, okay, I want to build value, I want to build influence, rather, I want to build relevance among my audience, you should have an end goal in mind. What is it I want to achieve through this influence I'm seeking to build? Do I want to build this influence because I intend to create a brand out of it? Do I want to build influence because I intend to monetize it? Just think about that objective. Think about the core message that is propelling you to actually seek for influence, to actually build influence and relevance. And then the next question you ask yourself is, with this goal in mind, how do you tailor your writings or your content to meet this goal? Your content or your writing should be tailored to meet this goal or the objective you have. Your relevant message, your core message should be in a way that you are able to position yourself and create this mental perception about yourself and your brand in the minds of your audience, so that immediately your audience hears this particular message about you, oh, they know, wow, it's Ebubechi that is talking, or it is Adam AJ Maruf that is talking, or it is Fortune Namdi that is talking. For example, um My mentor, Fortune Namdi, once they just say, if you don't sell, you will beg. That is exactly how it says it. Everybody, once they drop that quote, everybody already knows that they are talking about Fortune Namdi. Or for Brain Jotter, if you just hear, I beg get that, you already know that is Brain Jotter. Or look at Laisisi Elenu. If you say something just happened right now and I'm very, 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 very angry, you know that they are talking about Laisisi. And for people like John Obidi would say,
And I'm
use what
very,
you
very,
have.
very, very
Go on, please. Hello.
Pardon that interruption. Can you still hear me, please?
Yeah, a lot of things.
All right. So John Obidi would say, use what you have, for what you have is plenty. Now, such quotes, such messages already have a way of building this consciousness, building this perception about you, about your message, about your brand, about your content in the minds of your audience, such that if they hear it, they automatically know that, okay, this is who they are talking about. So, your consciousness, let the consciousness that I am building influence for a long term goal be there. Let it be there in you, and then genuinely express your message so that it leaves a great perception in the minds of your audience, so that it leaves a great perception in the minds of your audience. You don't want to build influence for a short time. If you build influence for a short time, then you are seeking to build influence for a short time, then it's totally a waste of time, and there might not actually have been a need for you to start. So for you to take it long term, you have to understand your why, you have to find your core message, and you have to find your clear objective, and then genuinely express it in all of your content and in all of your writing. Are we together?
I can hear you loud and clear. If you guys can hear Ebubechi and you've been following, just comment in the comment section. We are following.
All right. So J Prince says care and cater for the needs of your audience by dishing out value. Absolutely. Dishing out values to your audience very correctly. Okay. So I'll be moving further. Now, the next way to actually build influence and relevance through writing is by writing itself. Yes. I know many of us will be shocked to hear it. How? You want to build influence, you want to build relevance through writing, and you don't want to write. How possible can that be? Now, far beyond just writing to for your audience, just far beyond writing for your audience, or far beyond writing or creating content that are relatable to your audience, you have to employ tactics and strategies in your writing that will leave lasting and longing impressions and legacies in the minds of your audience. You cannot claim to be an influencer. You cannot claim to say you have an influence or you have an edge over the people you are influencing, and then your writings, your contents do not show this. It is not possible. So you must be deliberate about your writing. Your writing should be able to showcase your expertise. It should be clearly written. It should be beautifully constructed, edited, properly edited, free from errors, professional, using the right words that actually resonates with your audience. Man, your writing should just be clear, exceptional. And now I'll be sharing some strategies that can help you achieve a very good writing. So now some of the things that, or some of the strategies that you can employ in your writing that will help you create or build influence and relevance is by using personalized stories that connects with your message. Personalized stories that connects with your message. So over time, I have seen so many people, because they said use storytelling in all your content. Storytelling is a very powerful technique. Many people now just want to tell stories for storytelling's sake. How is that possible? You just want to tell a story. And imagine you're talking about personal development because they said use story. You will now come and bring out a story of how you went to a restaurant and you were eating. And after you finished eating, you went home, and that's all. And then we cannot even connect it to the message you are trying to pass across. So if you must build influence, people like to listen to stories that are personalized, stories that are personal to you. Now, when we say personalized message, it does personalized story, it does not mean that you will not share everything relating to your life. No. But from a level or from a stance, you can share stories that would help you effectively pass your message. And the truth is that if you employ or you infuse stories into your writing, you'll be able to capture your audience attention and then hold them until they are able to read to the end of your message. And then another strategy you may want to also employ is to use trends. Trends are an effective way to build influence and relevance through writing. Because one thing about trends is that so many persons utilize trends. And so when they are utilizing different trends, it drives traffic to you. However, if you are using trends, let your trends be timely. We have trends like Mommy G.O. That time when Mommy G.O. was reigning, they will not say Mommy G.O.
Yeah.
said, or some all these trends like I'm expecting something huge, or now something we no won't give me something now, you know they expect now something huge that they expect now. All those trends now, far beyond using these trends, it must be timely. Imagine you are using a trend of now something huge I dey expect. You are using the trend now when we already have another trend in vogue. It doesn't work. So you have to be timely. When you use trends, you also have to take into consideration that those trends you are using are timely. Then moving further, you should create content that either moves your audience, inspire your audience, educate your audience, entertains them, or motivates them. These are the type of contents or writing you should be creating. Then when you are writing, you can also infuse opposite or reverse action words. For example, if your audience have been used to hearing affiliate marketing is the goal, affiliate marketing is this, affiliate marketing is the new oil, affiliate marketing is the new currency, you could just one day wake up and say affiliate marketing is scam. Everybody will be like, whoa, what exactly is she trying to paint? After everybody have been hyping affiliate marketing, or you could just say, just those reverse or opposite action words. But now it is not just about using opposite or action words. Make sure it reflects your message relevantly, and you are able to now reverse reverse what you have actually said to paint a clear picture. And then also keep in mind your content writing formula. I know many people might be wondering, oh, does content writing has a formula? Yes, it does. Just like mathematics, content writing has a formula. It is simply 2H 2C. For chemical students, I know they'll be like, 2HO. No, it is not 2HO. So in this case, it is 2H, which is headline, hook, and the 2C, which is your content and your call to action. So your headline should be captivating, and then you should also use an accompanying hook that is also appealing and will shed more light upon your headline. Then your content should be fleshy, it should be in depth and explain your message relevantly. And then you should also use a suitable call to action. More so when writing, if you must build influence, if you want to build influence and relevance, you should write in clear and simple words. This cannot be overstressed. We understand that you have a large bank of vocabularies. We understand that you want to use high sounding words. But if you infuse some of these technical jargons into people that are not familiar with those words, you leave your audience confused between struggling for the meaning of those words and actually getting the message you are trying to pass across. So please use simple and clear words, and then be authentic, be original, be you. Write in your unique voice. You don't need to copy anybody. Write in your own unique voice. Write clearly, write originally, and then be engaging and conversational. Don't write boring contents. You cannot build influence and relevance by writing boring content. No, let your writings, let your contents be conversational. Let it be engaging. Let your audience be able to see as though they are there with you and they are having a hard discussion with you. And then the next thing is in your writing, you have to share actionable tips. It is not just enough to share tips. Share actionable tips. tips that if we implement it, we'll be able to see results. We don't just want to hear surface level tips. Take it beyond that. If we implement these things, we would see actions, or we will see results. So the next way you can build influence and relevance through writing is by researching, by reading. It cannot be emphasized so much. If you are a content creator, you are a writer, you have a business brand, I mean, you cannot say you have an edge over people. You cannot say you have a level of influence over this your audience. And then we are hearing the same message every now and then. Today, every time you're always talking about simplicity of content, simplicity of content, simplicity. If you continue like that, you will lose your influence, you will lose your relevance. Because the truth is that they can already predict what next you want to talk about. So to avoid this, you have to research. My mentor, Daddy Fortune, they would say, take in 4 times more than you give. And in one of the contents or one of the posts I made some times ago, I said, as a content writer, as a content creator, you have to research twice as much as you write. Twice as much as you write. This will constantly help you give your audience that influence. This will help you create that influence over your audience, because every time they are meeting you with new messages, they are meeting you with new content every time. And now you might now ask yourself, okay, how do I create new content? Please consume and read good books. Consume and read good books. If you read good books, you will if you read good books, you'll be able to come up with great content. You'll be able to come up with great content. And then, particularly, change your environment. Change your environment. Many people undermine environments when it comes to content creation, but the truth is that our environment, to a large extent, influences majority of the idea that we share. So I would share a story. One day, that was my very first time of visiting a very top-notch hotel. I was sent to represent somebody. And as soon as I visited our hotel, the first day, it was very welcome. They were like, welcome, ma. You're welcome. Ma, help you with your bag. I was like, eh. So this one, they happened for Niger. And then I think that was the first time I used the hotel room that I was using the card as an access. The hotel
Wahala.
rooms I was using, actually, the hotel room I was used to were usually key. So, men, it was mind blowing. My perception changed, and now the truth is that the environment you are would determine the people you would see, which in turn would determine the type of information you are able to send out to your content. So, as much as possible, travel. Take in new content ideas from your environment. Change your environment. You always like to create content from your room. Oga, go outside. Madam, go outside. Look outside and draw reasonable informations or content ideas from your environment. So, I'm wrapping up. I'm slowly wrapping up, and I'm getting to the last point. The last point on how you can build influence and relevance through writing is by protecting your experience. I'll explain what experience means in this content. Now, experience in this content simply means everything people have been hearing about you. So, from a distance, people have been able to perceive you. You've been able to implement everything I have shared, and people have been able to perceive you and see you. Oh, wow, this person is a person of value. This person is a person of influence. Or more, these guys, Sabio, in they grounded. Ah, God, or more known. If they mention your niche, you are the first person that comes to mind. You are the first person that dominates. Now, how about when they come closer to you? And this is where many of us actually gets it wrong. This is where many of us kill our brand. And this has been mainly common among affiliate marketers. I am sorry to mention this, but the trend is that many of us content creators, many of us salespersons, many of us business persons, many of us brand owners have actually become more interested in in making sales than in actually protecting the experience that will live after people come in contact with us. Okay, we've perceived that your value, your company is the bread, is the best. But after we come close to you, can you still sustain that same influence that we've been able to perceive from a distance? How do your audience feel after they relate with you? How do your audience feel after they finish reading your content? How do your audience feel after they finish buying your course or taking your course? So you have to be deliberate about protecting this experience. It is not just about building from a distance. If they come close to you, either by attending your class, either by taking a particular course, or buying any of your, or having any dealing or business interaction with you, they should be able to say, oh, fine, this girl is actually a person, this guy is actually a person of influence. What he or she has portrayed from a distance is still what is obtainable at a close interval. So this is it. This is actually various ways to build influence through writing. So, for just in case, for those who are just joining us, I'll just give a quick recap over it. So I said, if you want to build influence and relevance through writing, the first thing you have to do is to know your niche. You don't have to be everywhere. You have to look at your ideas, your talents, your skills, and niche down to a particular place. Then know your audience. Know your audience. And I actually said that among the wrong people, you cannot build influence. So you have to build influence among the right people, among people who appreciate your value, who appreciate your words. And for you to achieve this, you must know your niche so that you'll be able to target the people who will appreciate your value, target your right audience. And in so doing, you carry out your writings to reflect your audience in mind. Keep them in your mind, keep them in mind. And everything that you do should be about them. And then I said, give value. Don't be selfish about giving value in your writing, because the influence you are able to build is in direct proportion to the value you have been able to build. So if you feel okay, I've not attained a level of influence or the influence I want, the next thing you just have to do is increase your value scale, and you will see that your influence over time among the right audience would actually scale. Then the next thing I said is said, find your core message and your core objective and genuinely express them. And what is that thing that you want your audience to actually know about you? For example, among my guys, before I introduce anything, the very first statement I say is hi guys. So literally, if I pick up a mic to speak, the next thing that all of them just echo is hi guys. So they already know that about me. So the next thing you may
It's
want
almost
to
like that
do,
for every
yeah,
online
yeah. So
marketer.
good. I also said, for you to actually build influence and relevance through writing, you must actually write. You cannot take it away. And why writing? I said you could use personalized story, make use of trends, employ reverse or opposite words, and then keep your content writing formula in mind. Use simple and clear words. And then I also said, you should, for you to build influence and relevance, research, read read books and take in more than you give. Research twice more than you write, and take in four times more than you give out, so that you are able to give your audience greater message. And then I said, protect your experience. Your experience is that feelings your audience gets about you, is everything your audience have been hearing about you over time. So you have to protect that feeling, protect your value base, your perceived value, work towards protecting it. Now, after all have been said and done, if you've been able to implement all of the strategies I have stated, you'll be able to build influence and relevance through writing. But then it is one thing to build influence and relevance, and it is another thing to maintain that influence and relevance. I read somewhere in a book in that book they stated that don't get to the top if you cannot stay there. They said, don't get to the top if you cannot
That's
stay there.
powerful.
And that is the same thing with influence. Remember at the beginning of the session, I said, influence is a long-term, building influence and relevance is a long-term goal. It's a long-term goal. So if you must build influence and relevance through your writing, after you've built it, maintain it. Now, how do you maintain it? keep your audience in mind. Very, very importantly, your audience is like the base of everything you are doing. They are like your wife. So you have to just marry them, let them know that you belong to them and you are for them, and everything you do actually portrays them. Then the next thing you have to do is to be consistent. Now, my mentor said something. He said, choose progress over perfection. To be consistent doesn't mean that you have to be perfect in all that you do. No, it doesn't mean that you'll be perfect in all that you do. No, consistency means that in whatsoever little effort you are taking, you are progressive, and we are seeing result. We are seeing progression. We are seeing an improvement daily. We are seeing an improvement, and you are progressive. Then the next way to maintain this influence is by being you. Be original. Nobody wants to consume content from Ebubechi Iwu and they are seeing AJ's voice in it. Nobody wants to consume content and they are seeing that Fortune Namdi's content voice in it. Although you could actually model some of these persons right up, but in the same line, protect your originality, protect your uniqueness. You get it? Then the next thing you have to do is to create a good experience by doing everything well. Create a good experience by doing everything well. So this is where I will be drawing a curtain on how to build influence and relevance through writing. I hope you've been able to understand this very well. So at this juncture, I would like to give room for question. Okay.
Whoa, wow. Thank you very much for this wonderful section, Ebubechi. I mean, you actually delivered beyond expectation. I mean, I'm not even going to mock up right now. But personally, I actually do have one or two questions to actually ask, right? So, in order to be a content writer, do I need to, go to school, finish my primary, secondary, university, get certified before I can start writing, or study writing in school before I can start writing, before I can become a content writer? Or what exactly does it take to be a content writer, or what exactly does it take to actually write content in the internet space? Does it require special training or something, school, school to school, or college and all that before you can become a professional writer, or let's say a good writer, or even a writer?
All right. So thank you for that question. So now the truth is that content writing doesn't need you to go to school. I mean, you would not go to school and then in any of your lectures you will see content writing 101. Although for those although for those who studied English language like me, there are times when in some of your subjects they would teach you about writing, they would teach you about creative writing. But content writing in this aspect is actually a digital skill. So it doesn't need you per se to go to a formal a formal school per se and sit and wait for somebody to teach you. But then it requires you to learn and master the act of content writing, because content writing cannot just happen like that. Content writing does not just happen like that. Of course, you could have in some innate ability to be able to write, but
Mhm.
can you write expressively in a way that it captures your audience attention? Can you write in a way such that you are able to rank, your writing is able to rank or drive traffic to your page? Can you write in a way that um, the purpose of maybe your clients is achieved? So all this actually requires training. All this requires training. It requires you to sit back and get trained and skilled. There are so many coaches who you can actually look up to. For example, on my page, on my timeline, I share relevant content and post about content writing. There are also mentors, they are also coaches rather, or models you can actually read, look up to. There are courses online that you can actually take that would teach you about content writing. So the first stuff, if you want to be a content writer, you have to be intentional about it. Define why exactly you want to be a content writer. Look at, there are several forms of content writing. So don't just be generic and say, I'm a content writer. You could actually break it down. For me, for example, I only write formal content. And with respect to that, I only do technical writings and social media writings. When I say technical writing, long form contents, blog posts, and all that, and then social media writing. So you have to niche down and then get trained, take up trainings, and keep practicing. It is not just enough to take trainings, implement and practice. Practice every day, and you will be improving yourself. Okay.
Thank you very much for that, Rachel. So this literally means anyone or anybody can actually become a content
Okay, I
creator.
think at this juncture I'm struggling to hear you.
Can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can.
I said this literally means anybody or anyone can actually become a content writer. Anyone can actually put out content if they actually follow the guidance or if they actually follow what
Yes,
is
anyone can actually be. Just take a deliberate and a conscious effort, of course, ruthless implementation and
following
training.
it. All right. So Prosperity had a question. Prosperity said, "How can someone build the habit of being consistent?" He said, "This is my main problem." Oh my goodness, this is this was something that I actually answered in my writing because I do more of writing lately, and I basically write almost every day now. Even though I still I want to write daily, I've been missing out on some days, and it's not so cool, which I know. So yeah. So how do we go about that, Becky?
Okay,
How do
so I know um, consistency and procrastination is something that many people actually battle with. Yes, it's very easy to say, be consistent, show
yeah.
up every day.
Like it's that
But
easy.
but the truth is
Exactly.
that backstage, if I tell you, if some of us tell you what we actually pass through to be consistent, it will wow you. So now,
Mhm.
how you can build the habit of consistency? I'm very glad the person said the habit of consistency. That means habit is something you do
Yeah.
regularly. It's more like a routine. So now, the very first way I would recommend for you with respect to that is to create a schedule. Create a schedule. You have a to-do list per se. What is it I want to do? And when you are creating this to-do list, begin first with the most important to the least important. And now, from doing this, if you are able to do a particular thing for a particular time, you make you tick it. You tick it. Write a to-do list. When I say write a to-do list, I'm not saying write it in your head though. Actually write it down on a physical paper or on your notepad. And then, to ensure that you actually follow that to-do list sequentially, you might want to set alarm for each of those time. You delegate time frames to each of those listings. You delegate time frame to each of those listings, and then this will help you make sure that you follow them diligently. Then aside that, for content creators or content writers, for you to be consistent in posting content or writing content, you want to have a content schedule or a content calendar. Now, your content calendar or your content schedule will actually spell out, okay, what am I supposed to post on Monday for my brand? On Monday for my brand, am I to post motivation content? On Wednesday, do I want to post sales related content? On Friday, do I want to post TGIF content? Thank God it's Friday content. These content calendars or content schedule actually already creates a guide for you. So all you just have to do is pick up and follow on them. Now, another thing that will help you build consistency or practice the habit of consistency is by getting an accountability partner. The truth of the fact is that many of us will be lazy unless we have somebody we are actually accountable to. This person can be a mentor, this person can be a growth partner, it could be a coach, somebody that is just there to monitor you and guide you on what is actually obtainable. And then this person you could also practice the fact that, okay, fine, if you don't post at this particular time, or if I miss out at this particular time, here is a punishment that you might want to take. And then in order for you to build the habit of being consistency, practice the reward and punishment mechanism. You can practice the reward and punishment mechanism. For example, okay, if I effectively, or if I post content consistently for a period of 1 week, boom, I could just decide to take myself out. For example, what I personally do, if there's a project I've been working on, and this project have been giving me tough times, as soon as I complete that project, the next thing you just see me is almost, I'm in one restaurant treating myself to a very sumptuous meal. That is a
Okay.
reward system. That is a reward system for me. And then deprivation system is one thing you can actually punish yourself. You can actually implement. So, okay, fine, I wasn't able to meet the target I said. Okay, for me to deprive myself of, for me to punish myself, I would deprive myself for being online for from this hour to this hour, or for this month or for this week. I would not buy anything new until I'm able to consistently meet up my tasks, my habits. So these are some of the ways you can build consistency as a content writer, or as a content creator.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Ebubechi. I think I've also been able to actually learn a thing or two, um, compared to what I actually learned on how I can actually become, or how I can hit. Okay, I think the question I asked then, or the one I saw was how to hit writing less. How to hit writing less, something like that. Yeah. So a lot of people don't like writing. So how do you hit it less? You understand? It's not like we know you don't like it. You understand? We know you don't have time for it. Some of you just some people actually literally just hate writing because they don't know how to actually construct the words. They don't know how to be consistently writing and improve something like that. You understand? So instead, what
Okay.
I actually learned
All right.
is to have a calendar. Just write every day. Like make it an habit. Like an habit is not formed by doing something once a week or twice a week. At least do it daily. It doesn't matter how long it will take. It doesn't matter even if it's 5, 10 minutes you used to write daily. Just make sure you write that day. And then whenever you write, just take on a calendar. Just strike it or something like that. Kind of straight. Okay, I write for today, something like that. And I think that has actually been working for me. Not so bad, at least. Even if I'm not writing something lengthy for that day, I can write just 2 sentences and then I've actually write for that day. So, as a writer, I think it's important to note that you have to read daily and you have to write daily. It doesn't have to be very, very wide. You are trying to practice the habit of being consistent with writing and reading to become a better writer. So, no matter how short the time you give into reading and writing, make sure you just do it daily. Over time, you become better at it. That's actually my 2 cents on how to become consistent in writing and how to become better in writing, of which I've said most of it, except you want to add something. All right, so let's see if we can take one more question before we introduce our next guest speaker. Yes. Well, in absence of no question, thank you very, very much, Ebubechi. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your knowledge being shared. I mean,
You're welcome.
this is golden. Can you tell us how much you charge? I mean, I don't know what maybe you charge a client, your student, for this information you've shared tonight. So for some people to know, some people don't know how valuable this is. Honestly speaking, especially this last part, this question, prosperity asked about how you can, become consistent writing. I mean, trust me, it's what makes a lot of people to, hate putting out content in the online space, especially written type, because they feel their English instruction is not well they're not so good with constructing sentences. They're not so good with writing and all that. So, but it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't really matter. So write crap every day until they come until you start making sense. Write a lot of nonsense, and trust me, over time you start making sense. So basically, I think that will be it for um tonight on how you can actually sorry. Okay, so that will be it for tonight. Um, from Ebubechi, telling us how we can actually build influence and relevance through writing.
All
Thank you
right.
very much.
Thank you for having me, AJ. I'm grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good night rest.
You too. Okay. You guys, let's welcome Esther, right? Trying to transfer. Okay. All right, Esther is here. Hey Esther.
Yeah, good evening. Good
Good. I just had to
evening.
look at. Damn. I could barely connect. I just had to like come closer. Oh, look how you're shining at night. Like, they shine bright like a diamond. Oh, look at that. Welcome.
Yeah,
I
thank you
wanted
so
coming to
much.
your, I wanted coming to your DM like, what's holding you up now?
No,
Abi,
maybe I had a live session in my Facebook community and I just had to leave them a rush now.
whoa! What a sacrifice! Can you see that, guys? Like, it's not to rush down here to be here for us. Trust me. Just I really appreciate this, Esther. Thank you very much for this, and it's cool having you here. So, real quick, Esther, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? A little bit introduction, to the audience, who Esther is. Oh my goodness, Esther is when she sent it to me, I like, oh my Esther. where, where this one go fit for flyer now like this? My graphic designer had to reach out to me and it was like, ah, but AJ, what's going on? I don't understand. I don't even know what to even remove. I'm like, oh god, that's Esther. Esther has been a lot of this internet space, and then she should actually have a lot to actually talk about, about achievements, about all shit. In fact, I reached out to Esther when I was about to start this conference, on how we can, get more people in, how I can, put the whole thing together. Because trust me, I've not really held a live conference on YouTube before. I've not even held a live conference on IG before, but she gave me the clarity. She told me what to do. She told me, things to do, and trust me, this has actually helped me. You know, that's what really helped us to be here today. Thank you very much, Esther. And tell
My
us more about
boss.
tell us more about yourself. Tell the audience about you. What do you
Um,
do?
all right, guys. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's a privilege to be here this evening. Thank you so much, AJ, for bringing me on board to share the little things I know, right? So, I'm a small girl, nothing serious. I'm Esther Odenwingle, and I'm a copywriter. What is? I'm not married. Okay, so
Are you
God
trying
has
to
been
tell the
helping.
guys to shoot their shot? I don't understand. Are you trying to tell the guys to shoot their
Yeah,
shot?
if they have up to, okay, no problem. I'm not married, but
How much?
anyways. No worry. All of us we are rich, we are wealthy. Okay, so
Okay.
that's it basically. That's it basically. I love smiling. Yeah, that's how they gave me this name, Smile for New, and yeah, that's it
What's,
basically. Thank you so much.
what's my part inside me and you know?
Is eh?
I'm not saying it. It's fine. Just go on. We'll talk about this.
Um,
All right, Esther. Um, you know, a lot of people are actually confusing this whole thing. I mean, the part of this content of the thing. A lot of people are confusing content. Like, if your content is just coming online and just post shit, you understand? Like, that's why we have a lot of trash online as content, right? A lot of people don't know that the content they create can actually make them money, you understand? And I think that's where the part of copywriting actually comes in, right? It makes them to take action, right? It's not just about putting out the content, but putting out the content and also taking action. So it's
yeah.
more of like I create a dance video that I know will actually go viral. But since I know this dance video would go viral, that's actually a content. Now, how can I make money from this content? After posting the dance video and it's going viral, I tell someone to actually click on the link below to actually order for the dress I used in actually making the video. You understand? That's I think where copywriting comes in, and that's why we took that's why we have Esther here to actually tell us today how we can actually pay our bills with words. Because how can we pay our bills with words? We don't tell them.
I don't know for you people. Okay, I'm just going to be saying a few things. Alright, I'm going to be saying a few things, and
I don't say
okay, let me start like this. The truth is, okay, the truth is this: most persons they just want to come online and post stuff and expect people to buy from them at once. But I do tell people and my students, because they can never separate content from copywriting. You can never separate. This one is not okay. Okay, let me start from scratch, just in case you don't know what's copywriting. Right? So in a layman's term, copywriting is actually you using words to touch people's emotion and make them buy from you. Using words to touch people's emotion and make them take action. Right? The action can be making them buy from you. The action can be making them follow you. The action can be making them sign up. Any action at all you want them to take. So copywriting is what enables you make sure they do such. So that's the layman's definition of copywriting. And also, we have two aspects of copywriting. I will not be talking about the other aspects. The two aspects is those that want to go into copywriting full time, right? When you hear people say I'm a copywriter, so you write for people, or the other parts where I feel most of you come under this evening because the theme for this conference is content to cash, right? Content
exactly.
to cash. So you don't really want to be a copywriter. It's all about content, but then looking for ways to fit in copywriting as a complementary skill, not a main skill. So that's the aspect I'll be talking about this evening. Copywriting can be a major skill for you, whereby you are writing direct response copy for clients. They are paying you in hundreds of thousands of dollars and all of that. So, but then this evening I'm going to be talking about copywriting as a complementary skill. So you cannot really separate content from copywriting. Now back to what I was saying. Sometimes people just write, and in a bid to make people take action, they begin to write rubbish. From the first instance, the words they are not even attention grabbing, right? Right from the headline down to if you are using a story or anything, it cannot even sustain somebody's attention. So how do you expect them to even read to the extent whereby they click the link or take the action? So I'm going to be talking about that aspect also. But first off, let me say this: no matter the copywriting you engage online on any social media platform, either on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any social media platform at all, your words will not be able to. Okay, let me start from this. Let me start from this. People will always buy from you when you've nurtured them with content. People will
Hopefully,
always take action faster when you've nurtured them with content. So don't just rise up one day and say, oh, I've learned copywriting, so I should be able to make these people take action. It would not work like that, because you're not trying to do direct response copywriting. So if you're hearing me this evening and you want to start making sales from your content, there's a place for you to nurture them over time. And that's where people, that's this question here on the screen also applies. Okay, the question before this. So we were saying, how do I become consistent with content and all of that? Yes, you have to understand that part very well. You must be consistent with content without selling, right? Or selling without selling. Let me put it like that, because there are some content you did not sell directly, but in between the words you've actually sold. So you must come to a point where you nurture people with content daily. I know so many other speakers might have talked on content, but then I'm going to be directing my own to copywriting form of content. Okay, so that's what this person says. How can I build the habit of being consistent? Be consistent with putting out content. That's why you see some people when they are selling on Facebook, their product is always sold at. Why? Because for the past 6 months, for the past 1 year, they've been nurturing those audience with content. I can remember when I started that online, July 2020. I think the first few months of that year, I was always, it's not now. I'm not doing content stuff on my status again because WhatsApp is hanging. I don't have the time, and I'm trying to build on other social media platforms except WhatsApp, Facebook, for example. And I've been seeing the results ranging from my followers, they're increasing, my engagement is increasing. Even when I put out stories, there's turn up. Right? So what I normally do on WhatsApp back then, I make sure every day I come and teach. There are times I organize a teaching instead of me to do it in a WhatsApp group. I bring this to my WhatsApp status for 3 days and I'm teaching. I'm nurturing with them with content. So even till now, most of them still give out my contact to their friends and say, this girl normally put out value on her status. Come on, may I note now? Say I don't normally do that again. So what am I trying to say? Words that will pay your bill will not just come like that. You have to come to a point where you nurture people with content over time. And when it comes to nurturing with content, it's very easy. Sharing your experiences, your daily experiences, right? Sharing your daily experiences, like what you've learned. You can summarize this and put it out there on your WhatsApp status or any other social media platform. Because the truth is this, people are lazy to read. That's why you can go to Google and carry something. You put it on your WhatsApp status, like you can just tune it a bit. Put it on WhatsApp, people will be like, oh my God, value. They are lazy. They can't go to Google. They can't buy hard copy books. So you will take out your time to do all of those. Then come. You now become an authority before their eyes. So when you're able to play this part very well, pay your bills with words will become simple. I'll come to a point where I will teach you how to do such. But I really need to establish this fact first. So you will not just start thinking, oh, how do I pay my bill with words? Come and teach me how to start writing engaging copies and all of that. If you don't want to be selling, except you want to be writing for clients. That's not the aspect I'll be talking about this evening. Because most of you here are content creators or people trying to be consistent with putting out content. So when you have now be able to play that part very well of nurturing with content, that's why I do tell people, the audience you've not nurtured with content, don't expect them to pay your bills, right? The audience you've not nurtured with content, don't expect them to pay you. That's the truth. Don't expect. That's why I can create a course on WhatsApp marketing. AJ can create a course on WhatsApp marketing, but AJ can sell out more than I do if he has been nurturing his audience with content. He will sell out more than I do, right? Or more than I will do. Okay, so people you've nurtured with content over time, they will not get to like you, know you, and trust you. I believe you know that factor already, the KLT factor. So when you've been able to establish that fact, you will now come to using copywriting. You will now come to using copywriting, and that's the part we'll be into right now. You will now come to using copywriting. So when it comes to copywriting, the difference between copywriting and content writing, right? The difference between content and copywriting. Content writing, it's majorly to engage your readers, to inform them, to educate them. You might not really be selling anything. You're just putting things out there and they're like, omo, I got value, omo, I learned something. You will even be sharing your post. They'll be sharing it. For somebody to share your post, it means the person has learned and he or she wants his friends to learn. Okay, so they begin to share your post on Facebook. You see, like, okay, I passed out from the NY scheme last month, and I shared my NYC experience on my Facebook, and I got 60 shares on that post. I got 60 shares. People were sharing, over 1,000 likes, close to 500 comments. People were sharing that post. So when persons read your post and they learn and they got value, you won't even cajole them to share. You won't force them. They will begin to share. So that's content writing. Though in between I sold something, all right? In between I sold something, okay? So my point is this, before we start entering the other parts, if you've not been nurturing your audience before now, don't expect them to start paying your bills. No matter the words, it sucks. They won't even pay attention to you. You'll come to a point, it will look as though you are too serious, they will begin to mute you. Okay, so in case you're just a newbie starting out, you have to play that part very well. After you've generated this leads, make sure you're nurturing them with content. Then you now begin to sell, and that's the aspect I'll be talking about this evening. Okay, that's the aspect I'll be talking about this evening. The topic is paying your bills with words. Paying your bills with words. Okay, so obviously you buy every day. For some of you, you buy every day, or let's say 4 times a week, 5 times. In fact, when you go out, you buy something, you exchange, like you pay for something. Okay, now because you do this, there's every need for people to pay you too. That's why I do tell people, if you're not selling anything currently, like you are just there, you're not selling anything, it's suicidal, let me put it like that, because sooner or later you start begging, you start reaching out to your friends to borrow you money, right? You start reaching out to them to lend you. And I posted on Twitter a few days ago, I told them that anybody that reach out to you, that tell you, see, I will pay you even before you know it, don't give such persons money. Don't give such persons money. That's another level though. But what I'm trying to say is there's this system called buying and selling. Selling and buying, they are two different things. Okay, so if you're online right now, you're always buying and you're not selling, there's a problem. Now, for you to be able to sell effectively and efficiently, that's where copywriting comes in. Copywriting enables you to write, to persuade people to the extent that they won't know when they will bring out their wallets and buy from you. Now, when we're talking about copywriting, I don't want you to always put it at first that, oh, I'm not good with writing, Jerry, so let's forget about this copywriting of it. Even the content writing, it's not meant for good writers. That's why it's called a skill, which means it can be learned, right? It's called a skill, which means it can be learned. Any skill can be learned by anybody if you put your heart into it. You don't necessarily have to have passion for it. Just for you to dedicate your time, your resources, your cash to it, and over time you will become better. So if you are here right now, anytime you hear copywriting, you're like, oh, this thing is for writers, Jerry. No. I want to debunk that idea this evening. Okay. If not, you will not be able to pay your bills with words. Content alone will not pay your bills. You have to come to a point where you learn the basics of copywriting. So that as you are putting out content there, in one way or the other, you'll be chipping in these things. So when it comes to copywriting, there are different elements that enables you to be able to pay your bills with words, right? There are different elements. We're going to be talking about those different elements this evening, right? So let's dive in. The first thing you must understand is this: anybody are not able to capture their attention, they won't buy from you. So the first thing this evening when it comes to copywriting is the ability for you to understand how to grasp people's attention. But before I go into that, let me make you understand something, that copywriting is not about writing, it's about understanding human psychology. It's about understanding how humans think. It's about understanding how humans feel. If you're able to understand human psychology very well, there is no way you will not sell out. There is no way you will not be able to pay your bills with words if you're able to understand human psychology. There are times where I might just need urgent 10,000 naira, and I'll just go on my WhatsApp status sometimes. I'll be like, okay, I have over 8,500 views on my WhatsApp status daily, right? So when I just need urgent 10K, I won't go to my service to withdraw, right? I'll just, maybe my express account is done at that moment and everything. I can just go to my WhatsApp status, right? So that's why some people call us, as copywriters, they call us deceivers, they call us manipulators. They've given us so many names, but who cares? We don't. In as much the money comes. We don't care, right? They've called us so many names, we don't care, right? It's all about the money. It's all about the money paying the bills. Yeah. Okay. So something I just go on my WhatsApp season and be like, at this moment you have an offer, right? But how about you allow it to get to the eyes of over 8,500 persons within 24 hours? How would you feel? And before you will be rushing me, I will not make it worse by saying the first 5 persons instead of 5,000 naira, because to place your ad on my status is 5,000 naira. So I'll not be like, instead of 5,000 naira, all of you know, the first 3 persons will pay 3,500 naira. I've killed them already like that. I'm trying to teach you how we pay our bills with words. Just follow me. For some of you now be like, why will you do such now? Why will you play on their intelligence? Blah, blah, blah. I'm offering them a solution. It's just that I know how to play on human psychology. Do you get the solution? Is bring it before 1,500 persons. It's a solution for you. Even if you don't convert, for example, obviously it does. But even if it don't, at that point, the eyes of 1,500 persons have seen your face. At least that's enough. Even if you don't convert them, right? Because physically, you can't even put your products, your physical products, in the eyes of 1,500 persons within 24 hours. It's not possible. How many persons will pass your store a day? It's not possible, right? So because I understand human psychology, right? So I'm able to touch their emotions at that point. And before you know, they bring out their wallets and they start paying. At that point, maybe I'm going to what is it called now? ShopRite that day. I'll just enter, right? That's how I pay some of my bills, some of my small bills. Okay. So what am I trying? That's just an example. What am I trying to say? You must understand human psychology, how human feels. In fact, if this is the only thing I dwell on today, take it home. Copywriting is not about writing. Paying your bill with words is not about writing, right? It's about understanding how humans think. It's about understanding how humans feel. It's about understanding the emotions attached. Let me give you another perfect example. Some of you, if you follow me on Facebook, you must have read this post. So I was going out to see a client, right, in an eatery, Crunchies, here in Owerri. So when I got to the park, from there to where I was going to was 250 naira. Should not be more than 250 naira. I will enter 2 buses. So I now carried my phone. I checked both. Both was 1,500 naira compared to 2,250 naira. So I was not like, which one should I do now? I don't know when I booked both. The driver came, I confirmed my order. The driver came, I entered. So when I entered the boat and we were going, I was smelling. I was like, how would you even prefer 1,500 over 250 naira? Just follow me, I'm going somewhere. So at that point, I began to understand that this thing is human psychology, in the sense that when you enter a public transport, no comfort. No comfort. In fact, the person sitting behind you might just be dripping with sweat. Sometimes you are telling me like this, one fat person is here, one fat person is here, they press your life, right? Just follow me, I'm going somewhere. They press you like no comfort and everything. Then that's one. Secondly, you see this driver doing pick and drop. They drop somebody in the next junction, pick another person, drop, pick, and before you know, your time is going. The second thing there is speed, right? For other persons, it might be ego, or to boost their status. So they are going to see their girlfriends or their guys, right? And when they get there, they come down from the boat, and you know, this ego, this status and everything. So what am I trying to say? 3 emotions are attached to why I choose 1,500 naira over 250 naira, which was comfort, speed. For me at that point, it was not ego though, but then that's what both sells. Both can sell ego equally. So because of these 3 emotions, they understand human psychology, that human loves comfort. At a point, you need speed, right? At a point, you need ego. Okay, so these are the emotions attached to this product called both. Now back to what I'm saying. When it comes to paying your bills with words, you don't just start writing anyhow. You have to understand the emotion attached to whatsoever you are selling, and you begin to sell from that standpoint. That's how you make people take action. I'm repeating this again. This is the core of everything I'm teaching this evening, nothing else. I said, if you really want people to take action on what you are selling, so that you can use such money to pay your bills or do anything you want to do, right? You must understand or research on the emotion attached to what you are selling and begin to sell from that start point. Both, for example, both understood that we love comfort, we love speed, we love ego. So that is the thing they sell. They are not selling the car. They're not selling the product, they're not selling the car. So if you are here this evening, you are selling one or two things. That's not what you are selling. If you are a graphic designer, you learn graphics so that you can be paying your bills with it. You are not selling graphics, right? You are not selling graphics. You should look for the emotion attached to graphics designing and begin to sell from that standpoint. Emotions like what? There are some persons, you begin to tell them that, how about when people see this your offer in a stunning style, right? In terms of visuals now, right? So you begin to sell such emotion. We have different emotion when it comes to copywriting. We have the emotion of comfort, we have the emotion of ego, we have the emotion of self-development, self-improvement, we have the emotion of what is it called now? They will have several emotions. In terms of that's why you see some sales products, sorry to say, that's why you see some sales products, they sell very fast, right? So whatever they are selling there, whatever they are, that's just the basic thing. Understand human psychology. That's the everything of copywriting, but people don't understand. That's why you see us, for example, when we write, there was one time I wrote a copy. I was selling my own because I write my copy to sell my own digital products. Somebody paid. And before you know, he entered my DM, was like, "Ma, please refund my money." I was like, why? He said, "I was reading this thing. I never knew when I paid." He said, "I never knew. You were just touching me. I don't know when I paid." I said, "Oh, sorry, sorry. I cannot refund your money. Sorry, The guy was like, you people are wicked. You people are wicked. How were you able to write this thing too? Like I never even knew when I punched on when I bought this product, right? So until people come to that point, at that point he gave me money, I paid my bills if I had any then, right? So because I understand human psychology, you enter the conversation going on in their head and you begin to write from that standpoint. That's what I want you to take away from this conference this evening. I know some of you are selling already. So the first thing, go and nurture your audience with content. Then when you begin to sell from the standpoint of emotion. Every product, they have different emotions attached. The emotion attached to product A might not be the emotion attached to product B. That's why there's a need for you to do research. There are some people, graphic designer, for example, when you ask them, they say you're a graphic designer, okay, so what are you selling? What's the big idea? What are you selling? Well, I'm selling graphics now, flyer now. No, right? So you have to you must understand what you are saying. You're not selling a product. Both, for example, they are not selling the car. They are selling the emotions attached. Obviously, comfort is not a tangible product, right? Comfort, you cannot see comfort, you can only feel it. So some of these emotions, they are not tangible. They cannot really see it, right? But they can feel it. So another way, that's one aspect, understanding human psychology. Another way you can also sell out, or another way you can pay your bills with words, is what we call involvement. Let me explain. Whatever you are selling or when you are writing the words, you must involve your reader. You must involve your reader. And a perfect example is always using the word you. Always using the word you, Y-O-U, instead of they, instead of them, instead of we, instead of I. Make use of you more. Do you know why? Naturally, humans are selfish. Sometimes I write mails. When I send out my mail to my email subscribers, some people now they still think I'm sending this to them one-on-one. Some people still feel it's only me and them. So I'll just wake up one morning and send only you email. I have like 9,000 email subscribers. So I'll just wake up and just be sending one to everybody. Right? It does not work that way. But because of the way I write it, because of the way I involve them, because of the way I make use of the word you, because of the way there was one was like, Esther, I just feel as though the both of us we are talking right now, right? So as you are writing, write as though you are talking to them one-on-one, even if you are talking to your 1,000 followers on Twitter. But write as though you are talking to them one-on-one. Use the word you. For example, like I said, sometimes I go on my status and I be like, currently you have an offer, right? How about you put it before the eyes of 1,500? So I could actually say currently most people have an offer. How about some of you, or how about some of them put it on my status right now? That's how you see sometimes We might have the same products to sell, but people will buy from me rather than they will buy from me instead of you because of my choice of words. Because naturally, humans are selfish. They want to feel as though they are the only ones you are talking to. They want to feel as though you are the only ones they are the only ones in the world. Okay, so always make use of the word you. This does not mean you should start littering it around your content or your copy. You. Once it becomes too obvious, they would get tired. Okay, but instead of putting them, these are little things that you might not know. You might not know. You might not know that these things are threats. So instead of it to be saying, I will teach you this, I will teach you this. Use you will learn this, you will learn that, you will be exposed to this, you will be revealed to this. Instead of using I will, it's not about you, it's about them, right? So if you are selling with words that must pay your bills, you must understand that such a content, such a copy should be about the person's reading and not just about you. Nobody cares about you. Naturally, nobody cares about anybody in this life, right? Except maybe your father or your mother. Nobody cares about you. So you must write from the standpoint of you're writing, what is it called now? You're writing to them. It's all about them. It's not about you, right? So another very important word that can pay your bills when you're writing is what we call free. I'm just trying to give you some words that would help you when you are selling. It's what we call free, right? So I saw something one time. They did this bag and this book, for example. Okay, let me use this. This is my MiFi and this is my MiFi and this is my power bank, for example. Let's say the two, let's say the two $50, for example. Nobody was buying. See what they now did. They now said this power bank $50. Once you buy it, you get this MiFi for free. Just follow me. These two they gave you, they say $50, so 25, or the two attached together $50. Nobody answered them. They were trying to sell, so obviously copywriting is about selling. So when I'm saying selling, I'm not talking about something. So they said these two things $50. Nobody rushed them. They were rushing the second person that said only this one $50. Once you buy this, you get this for free. Obviously, you can see that these two goes together. If I want to power my phone, I will need a MiFi for better connection. So people were rushing the second person because of what? The word free. So if you must be able to sell with words, you must understand that as humans, we love free. Later you will see some people where bonus is free, Abby. Bonus means free something. But Nigerians, they want to see free bonus. They want to see that word free bonus, even if bonus means free free something, right? But Nigerians want to see free bonus. And sometimes when I'm selling, do you know what I do? That free, I don't write it in small letter. I write it in capital letter, free, so that they will be seeing it very well. They will be seeing it. So because you are not lying. For some of you that maybe you'll be like, why are you lying now? When you know that this one, the two of them is 50, why are you not lying that this one will be free? We are talking about human psychology. We are talking about human psychology. This is how we play with people's head. Right? Let me put it like that. Because we understand that humans love free. So when it comes to selling with words, you must look for the things that humans love. Nigerians, to be precise, if you are selling to Nigerians on WhatsApp or Facebook and any other social media platforms, right? So you must understand that humans, they love free. Anywhere they see free, you see all of them there, they are rushing. That's why you can organize a free class now and fill up 5 WhatsApp groups. They love free. They love free. People want to see free. Both ladies and guys, they love the word free. So if you are selling out, look for something to give for free. It can even be part of what you want to teach in the paid class. Just extract one of the if it's a course, extract one of the modules, give it for free, even if it's part of what they should be learning as. Do you understand? Even if what they should be learning as part of it, just remove it and make it free. They want to see. That's why you can never sell out a course online if the bonus is not there. They want to see bonus. Yes, bonus worth 100,000 naira for a 1,000 naira course. So this is what Nigerians love. But thank God, some of us we are wise now. When we see such a thing, we just know that this one is not part of it, right? Except for the newbies coming up and everything, right? So I'm just trying to say this thing works. It works. Trust me, it works. Make it free. And another very important thing is what you are giving for free must be related to what you are selling. For example, this power bank, the two of them, they are closely related, right? Don't go and be selling power bank and giving maybe this handkerchief for free. Or you are selling power bank, you are giving what's there now? Okay, that Bluetooth can work. You are giving cream for free. It will not work, right? So your bonus must be closely related, even if you are looking for something free. You cannot be selling rice and giving charger as bonus. It does not tally. Right? So yeah, that's another thing. I've talked about you. I've talked about free. Another very important thing, if you want to pay your bills, is you always selling the benefits instead of the features of whatever you are selling. Sell their destination to them. These humans. I'm teaching you. In fact, okay, if there's a way, I don't know if people have a group or something where I can share one or two book on human psychology. Never met, right? So just go back, look for books on human psychology. If you understand human psychology very well, there's no way you will not sell out. I'm telling you the truth. You will stop
What book are you
struggling if you've been
recommending so I can
struggling.
share to my
You
audience?
said?
If they like to. Do you have any book you're recommending right now for human psychology?
Okay, what's the name? My problem is I authors of book. I don't usually
Yeah,
I don't know. It's my problem right from my undergraduate days. Right, even the name of my lecturers I
like
don't know any of them.
like
From 100 level to 400, I don't know names hardly stick except
but
you have
it's
these
fine.
your nicknames or something. You said?
Yeah, it's fine. Probably after the live section, you can send to me. I can send in the group. There's a Telegram community where I can
Okay,
easily
okay.
share that after this live
All
section.
right, all right, all right, no problem, no problem. So another very important thing that will help your content very well, and that will help you pay out your bills with words, is what we call storytelling. Obviously, I know you must have been hearing of this. Let me reinstate it. Let me tell you again, it works very fine. It works very well because naturally, as humans, we love gossip. Naturally, as humans, we love gossip. Okay, that's that storytelling sales, story sales. We love gossip. You want to hear the next thing. That's why some of you follow Yaba Left online. You follow all these blog people doing story, one story or the other. Okay, we follow them a lot. We love stories. The world is too busy. Social media is too busy that we're looking for something to capture our attention. Okay, naturally we love stories. So if you can actually bring that into your words while selling, you will sell out, right? You will sell out. If you want to know the next thing, if I tell you now, for example, that I want to tell you a story, the next thing will be like, oh yeah, now, tell me what happened. Oh yeah, gist me, what happened, gist me. Usually the ladies, okay. So naturally, we love storytelling, we love story. So you look for a way to bring it down to whatever you are selling. The story must not always be true. Okay, the story must not always be true. It must not always be true. There's what we call fictional and non-fictional story. Okay, I call fictional and non-fictional story. So sometimes it can just be an imaginary story, but the ability for you to be able to put it together, trust me, no expert fell from heaven, no storytelling expert fell from heaven. Everybody learns it, so you can learn it equally. Like I said initially, you just have to dedicate your time, your resources in terms of money and all of that. Where anything you put your heart into, you will definitely come out as one of the top, one of the best. Okay, so look for ways to always chip in story when you are selling. Don't be bored all the time. Don't be salesy. Don't be doing buy every day. Buy now. Why have you not bought? Come and buy from me now. What's stopping you from buying? Slide into my DM, ask for my account details, do this, do this. No. Sooner or later, they will mute you, right? So sometimes just tell a story. Your everyday experiences can form a story. I can remember that boat experience, right? My intention was not even to post it, right? I just did it. So when I got home that evening, I was like, I'm not posting content on my Facebook today. What should I do? What should I do? Immediately that story came to my head. It was not a story at first. It was something I just did. I just paid, right? So I just picked up my phone. I was typing. The title was my boat experience, and now you can use it. And now you can use it to generate more sales or something. So you type. Before you know, the story came up. I even got comments. Some people were saying, Omo, this your story was lovely. It got me glued to the end, even though it was long, right? And everything. So Always once in a while, always put it into check if you don't want to pay your bills with words. Sometimes I just see that thing, creating content that sells, right? Creating content that sells, or moving from content to cash, or moving from words to paying your bills. It takes time. It's not something you do in 2 minutes, not something you do in 5 minutes. You must sit down every day to make sure you bring out something cool, right? So you must sit down every day, have a book. Like me now, yeah, I have almost 4 pen, one red, one black, two blue. I have this long 80 leaves foolscap sheet. I have this short one, right? Be there, be doing things, be writing. What are the posts tomorrow? Carefully craft it. Don't just go on your WhatsApp screen and pick up your phone and start typing in the rubbish. Okay, so settle down to do these things. Another very important thing that would help you is this. But just like we said initially, when it comes to selling now, there's always a place for putting a call to action. Put a call to action, very important. So back to what I was saying before, when I go on my status, I'll be like, place your ad on my status, slide up right now to 3,500 naira, right? So even on Facebook, click on this link to buy now, click on this link to sign up. Always put a call to action, because another thing you must know about humans is naturally we love procrastination. I've said different things about humans right now, you should be putting them down. Naturally we love procrastination. Be like, what? I will do it later, Jerry. I will sign up tomorrow, and you might forget, because social media is busy with different content. Tomorrow they will see something. Tomorrow they will see that of your competitor, and they will buy from the person. Why? Because the person put calls to action. Why? Because the person added bonus, free bonus, right? And you are there after nurturing them with content or putting out a good story, no call to action. Always don't forget to put call to action. Always call them to action. We have different type of call to action, what we call CTA in copywriting. We have the sign up call to action, click the link call to action, different call to action. Another very important thing you must know is using the word now. These are little things that matter. It does something to the human brain, even if you are not seeing it. I'm telling you the truth. I've studied human psychology to a point, so I know what I'm seeing. It does something to your brain at that point. The word now, Now, make sure it's in caps, make sure it's in capital letter. These are little secrets to selling out, but you might not really know, right? So make sure it's in capital letter. Click, don't just say, okay, which one sounds better to you? Click on this link to participate. The second one, click on this link now to participate. Which one sounds more better? Obviously, it's the other one, right? So at that point, you might not know, but the person reading it, that the word now has moved from that write-up, from that word naturally, it has moved into the person, and the person is clicking, right? So these are different things you must put into place if you want to write words that sell. Another very important thing is what we call guarantee. These are several elements of copywriting, so I'm not talking outside it. I might not really be giving you formula of writing one copy that will make people buy from you. Now it's a copywriter that are going deep. This one now you are putting out content, but they are looking for better ways to make sure your content make people buy. So another thing is guarantee, right? It works fine too. Guarantee is actually you transferring the risk from the buyer to yourself. So today, for example, I was selling out a ticket. There's something going on in Owerri currently. We call it it's upcoming, it's forthcoming rather, Owerri Business Week. So I was trying to sell tickets to some people today. So I was telling the lady, buy this ticket for me, it's 2,000 naira. If after this program you feel you wasted your time, come and meet me personally. I will give you this money. Come and meet me personally. I will give you the news. Like, see the way you are really serious with this thing. Yes. And at that point, she bought. Right? She bought just because of that element of guarantee. And if it was my program, obviously, I would have used that money to pay my bills if I have any. Right? So the word, the guarantee matters too. It means you transferring like their doubts, their objection, their worry, anything they are thinking about. Because naturally, when you must see whatever you're selling to them, the next thing that comes to your mind is, how about if this thing does not work? Whereby if I buy this thing right now, it does not solve my problem, right? Whereby if I buy this thing right now and I'm still the way I am. So that's where guarantee comes in. So you begin to write, if after buying this thing, you don't get value for your money or you feel you wasted your money, meet me personally with no question asked. I will refund your money and still give you what you bought. I will not collect it from you. So at that point, she bought. Okay, so what I employed there was, or rather what I deployed there was what we call guarantee. But something else is there you must know. You must add a disclaimer. You must do what? Add a disclaimer. So that the money they will pay you, that you want to go and use and pay your bills, you will not start returning it the next day. You must add a disclaimer, which means when I was giving this girl this stuff today, the ticket, I told her, if after attending you feel you wasted your money, I would give you the 2,000 naira. But make sure you come to this venue on time and be in front seat. Don't go and come late and be, those people in the in conference and the back, they always make you noise sometimes and all of that. So make sure you come on time. Secondly, make sure you come with your pen and your book, so that when they are teaching, you are writing. Thirdly, make sure when they are teaching, you are not pressing your phone, which will obviously distract you. So these are several disclaimers I gave her. And obviously, if she's able to do this, there's no way she would not learn anything. So if you are selling and you are giving a guarantee, make sure you put a disclaimer. For example, if you start buying this course and you implement everything, and within the space of 30 days, you are still not seeing results. You understand? So, because some people, they will just buy, they will not implement. And when the thing does not work, like, well, she told us that if this thing is not working fast, come and give me my money, right? So the next thing you must ask is, show me where you implemented these things. For those of you that are selling digital products, show me how you implemented it, right? So, obviously we have newbies, we have intermediates, and we have experts. So you have to check first if this person is a newbie, maybe the person is just coming to the online space, he or she does not have audience yet. So you will now have to tell the person, can you just grow your audience a bit before this formula can work for you? You understand? So all the stuff I've sold online, there has not been anyone that be like, Esther, this thing does not work. Oh yeah, according to your guarantee, give me my money. Right? So that disclaimer will always be there, so that you will not start refunding people's money all the time. You understand? Now you will not start refunding people's money all the time. So always add disclaimer to your guarantee or your proofs, right? So thirdly, if you want to be able to what is the word now? Use words to pay your bills. You yourself, you must be growing so that you will have enough results. You yourself, you must be growing so that you will have enough results. Do you know that your results alone, sometimes you don't even need to put guarantee when you are not selling. With your results alone, when people are seeing your groundbreaking results, sometimes you don't need to even shout too much before you sell, before you before people pay for whatsoever you are selling. People just pay because of the results they've seen from your life. People just pay because of you, not necessarily because of what you've written. So you have to graduate to that point. That's why you have to improve yourself all the time in that your skill. Sorry. So don't go be like those people that you are the same yesterday, today, and forever. You are not changing. The way they met you 5 years ago, that's the way you are still. And you're complaining people are not buying. You're complaining you've used all the elements of copywriting, yet it's not converting. How will it convert when people are not seeing results in your life? This one is not part of copywriting right now, but this is just me. This is a conference. Obviously, I can tell you some of the things that would work, right? So improve on yourself too. Improve on yourself. When people begin to see tangible results, you be like sugar. You begin to attract these ants by default. Let me use them as ants now, for example. Yeah, you begin to attract them by default. You don't even need to shout too much. I've seen some persons that sold out their courses in millions without a sales copy, without a sales landing page. A perfect example is Simon Akbe, the one all of us call Prof. You should know him very well, Bachelor of Copywriting guy, right? He does not have a sales page. He does not have a sales copy. The only thing he does is he will just say these are the things you would learn. So he does not have that persuasion copy where those things we do, we write to be able to persuade these people, right? So when you just put out his stuff out there, you see people coming. Why? Because of the results he has. Because people have seen him as an authority. Do you get? So at a point or moving forward, try and graduate into that point. That's where I'm graduating into currently. So the extent that the only way I would, or the only need for me to write such a thing is maybe for people that don't know me, for cold audiences, people that they've not heard of me before, right? But people that have really been following me and everything, my results should be able to speak. I know some persons that buy my courses, they don't even go through the sales page. They don't go through the sales landing page. They don't even care to know what they want to learn in the class. But when I'm smart, it's because it's Esther that is teaching it. They are in. I could remember this my WhatsApp marketing course now, selling for 6,000 naira. Somebody sent 7,000 naira to me that day. I was like, why did you, is 6K not 7K? I was like, is it not you again? I know you will over deliver there. So just use that 1,000 naira shall buy coke. Right? So you have to come to that point when people are buying, when you are able to pay your bills, not necessarily because of the mighty words anymore, but because of your personality, because of who you are, because of the results you've gotten. Okay, so this is just like an encouragement, or me calling you deeper, calling you higher. Right? As you are going back, make sure you look for ways to get massive results. And how do you do that? Become a mini god in your skill. If you're into graphics, you are practicing how to design daily. You are modeling the top experts in graphics, right? If you're a content creator, you are following top experts, content creators. You are seeing how they are doing their stuff. You're implementing back to back. If you're a copywriter, you are following top copywriters, either on Twitter or for the foreign ones. You are seeing how they are doing their stuff back to back, back to back, back to back, right? You will come to a point. Me, for example, I passed that last month and I told myself, by the grace of God, from now till December, I'm not taking a 9 to 5 job, not because they've not come. I've had so many of them from LinkedIn to be precise, right? But I declined. So I'm like, from now till December, I'm still going to build myself. It's massive building. I have over 12 hard copy books now that I've bought. Aside these books, you see me with this my long notes. I'm writing copies as a copywriter, right? I'm following top copywriting. It's going to be building back to back from now to December. So they say that when I launch something in January, let me not brag. Let's get there first by the grace of God, right? So you have to come to a point where you dedicate your time in becoming better. If you become better alone, if people begin to see results from your life, you don't have to even bother to write in bulk, except maybe you want to run Facebook ads or something, right? So you don't even need to now start looking for persuasive words to write so that they can pay your bills. Do you get? So yeah, that's for that. I'm not preparing notes for this. Just talking from my wealth of knowledge, you get. All right. So I think that's all for now. And I believe those of you listening to me, watching me right now, you've learned one or two stuff. But you must also know that it's not just about about the hearing. You should be the doer. Go and implement. Look for those places you've not been doing it well. Start doing it well. Thank you so much, AJ. If you have any question, you can drop in the comment section. Let's take one or two. I have another meeting by 10 o'clock. AJ, are you there? AJ, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Okay, AJ, are you there? I think his network is bad or something. So do we have any question? Let me see. Okay. Farouk Adam says, if I'm selling Crocs, the nice footwear, please, what can I give out for free? Okay. Okay. Okay, let me quickly take the one I just read. Farouk. I might not really know. That's where research comes in, right? I'm not into physical products, but that's where research comes in, right? So you go online, look for where ladies, like people that sell some of these stuffs, search them on Instagram, see the things they are giving out. Some of them they give out things. But if you can't find any, go to Instagram or any of these sites where they sell physical products. You can check, does Jumia do it? I don't know. So you can check some of these physical products and websites, right? See some of the things. Now, you must not give out a bonus that will cost you, please. Don't give out a bonus that will cost you, right? Don't give out a bonus that will cost you. A bonus can be this. Let me give you a perfect example. You can just do a voice note, right? A voice note on how to rock that footwear. I know a friend of mine is into fashion designing. Do you know what he does? Anytime he's going out to deliver those clothes here soon, he will just write a very short note and attach the kind of shoe that would best fit that cloth, the kind of trousers that would best fit that cloth. How to mix, if it's a pink cloth, for example, the color of, let's say, color of trousers that will fit that pink cloth. Like, just give 1 or 2 tips. Do you understand? So you can actually put this into practice. You can just be a voice, what is it called now? If you are selling to them online, if you are selling to them online, can just do, even if it's a 1-minute video, do it like this, right? Record yourself. You have a good phone. Record yourself. Tell them how they can rock this footwear, how they can maintain it. People want to know. People want to know. Naturally, now if I buy hair from you, let's say wig or something, and you tell me I should be able to maintain it, or I should be able to care for it, or I should be able to rock it. You get, I will always buy from you over and over again, because that's your competitive advantage. Other people selling wig, they don't do such. Do you understand? So you must have a unique selling point. That's one other thing we taught in my community today. You must have a unique selling point. So if you're selling footwear, don't give out what will cost you. Don't go and buy something extra and your own profit will be reduced. Can just be a digital product. Do a 1-minute video. Tell them how to rock the footwear. Tell them how to maintain it. Tell them the kind of clothes. Because some of us, we buy some clothes, they don't even know the kind of shoe to wear on it. Some of us, we buy some clothes, they don't even know the color of trouser that will best fit it, right? So you can just give them some of these LT tips on how to do this footwear. They would always come to you. I could remember how I buy books a lot. So there was this book plug. When I bought from her, she gave me what is it called now? It's not marker, highlighter. You know, this highlighter, that stuff when you are reading. Okay, that stuff when you are reading and you use it to highlight instead of using pen. So she added this to it. When I saw that, I was like, wow, this is so nice, this is so nice. So when I got to Lagos a few months back and I bought about 12 books from somebody, she did not even add anything. Well, I just told my friend, I was like, I will never buy from this person again. Like, I would never buy from her. One of my guys was to order from Abuja. I told her, I'll not give you that person's number. This one that gave me highlighter. Make sure you order from this person. Just because of that small stuff. Even if it did not even last me up to 2 weeks. But then, do you understand? So that's one way you can also retain your customers. Those things are deep, by the way. Okay, Farouk, do you understand? If you understand, let me know in the comments. Okay. I think AJ pinned something initially. AJ, you pinned something initially. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. How long maximum does it take to nurture people with content? How long maximum does it take to nurture people with content? The thing is, nurturing with content is continuous, right? Even when you get to a point of selling, you can still be nurturing. But then you can give yourself, it depends on your consistency. So somebody that is consistent, let's say for 3 months, every day, back to back, is better. No, let me put it like this. How will I put it now? It's actually relative. Me personally, when I started out in the online space, in my first 1 month, I made my first 6 figure in my first 1 month. Do you get? So there are some persons that must have started that. In fact, there was one of my mentors in the first 8 months, nothing, 0, right? But today now, obviously, it's rocking in millions, right? So it's kind of relative. It depends on how you relate with your audience. It depends on how they now come to a point where they now like you, right? And how do you do that? Actually, is you sharing your experiences with them, carry them along with your process. So a minimum of 30 days. But meanwhile, don't just nurture them for 30 days and start selling. Nurturing is continuous. Be giving them value. Be giving them value. Be giving them value. So what I will be teaching my WhatsApp marketing course that will be starting on Monday, I told them that I'm going to be giving them some ways on how to do all of these things, right? So you come to a point where you teach, you entertain, you sell, I'll be diving deep when it comes to that with them, right? That's what I do basically online. My 3-step formula I teach, I entertain, and I sell. If you follow me on Facebook, you understand better. I only do them on WhatsApp. I only do them on WhatsApp. So AJ, I think that's all you can take. I have a meeting by 10 p.m.
Thank you very, very much for this section. I don't know if you can actually hear me right now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great, great. Thank you so much. Nathaniel, see Nathaniel here. Nice
Oh,
having you, Nathaniel.
okay.
Thank you so much once again. I honestly do not have any question from my end, and I believe if anyone does have questions, they would have actually asked. And these are the two questions that
Okay.
will be taken so far so good because you have another thing to do, and I guess we are
All right.
satisfied. And you've done justice by telling us how we can actually use content to actually get a lot of cash and how content can actually pay our bills through copywriting. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, AJ. Thank you guys for coming. Have a good
All right,
night.
guys, we've come to the end of Cash to Content Day 1. Cash to Content Day 1. Cash to Content Day